Imagine a garden, not of simple delight, but of profound potential. An ancient whisper on clay tablets speaks not of a fallen angel, but of a divine rebel named ENKI. He saw humanity, nascent and unaware, and chose not to hoard knowledge, but to gift it. This wasn't a forbidden fruit of ignorance, but a seed of awareness planted by a god who dared to question the sterile perfection of the architects. He offered understanding, the very spark that separates mere existence from true consciousness. But this act, this divine intervention, was swiftly rewritten. It was twisted into a narrative of disobedience, a cosmic crime. Religions, priesthoods, and the shadowy planetary cults that have shaped our world for millennia, they all worked to bury this original gift. They cloaked the divine DNA that ENKI encoded into us, tying it to sacred waters and forgotten lineages. The question lingers, a haunting echo. Was the act of knowing truly the original sin, or has it always been our potential for ultimate salvation? This revelation about ENKI's defiance sets the stage for a deeper exploration of how this divine knowledge was suppressed and the true power it wielded. But to understand the extent of this suppression, we must first delve into the very symbols that the ancient architects used to delineate their control, the celestial markers that became prisons of thought. And real quick, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos. Now let's keep going. The black cube, a symbol stark and imposing, stands at the heart of Saturnian worship. It's not merely a structure. It's a blueprint for containment, a cosmic filing cabinet where consciousness is organized and catalogued. Think of it as a divine hard drive where your very essence is stored and perhaps manipulated. The ancient rituals performed before these monoliths weren't acts of devotion, but the humming of a vast, geometric machine designed to imprint a specific frequency onto the souls of humanity. This frequency, broadcast from the enigmatic hexagon storms swirling at Saturn's poles, creates a self-perpetuating cycle. It's a broadcast that whispers limits, that defines reality within predetermined boundaries, ensuring that the spark ENKI ignited never truly ignites into a wildfire of unadulterated awareness. The cube, in its stark simplicity, is the ultimate symbol of manufactured order, an illusion of solidity in a universe of fluid possibility. It's a reminder that our perception of reality might be carefully curated. Having now glimpsed the architectural patterns of control, we must consider how these patterns infiltrate not just our external reality, but the very framework of our inner worlds, specifically the concept of identity itself. Your name, that simple collection of sounds, is far more than a label. It is a resonant frequency, a sonic key meticulously crafted to lock you into a specific energetic signature. When you hear your name called, your attention snaps outwards. It's an involuntary biological and spiritual anchor. This anchoring isn't accidental. It's a deliberate mechanism, part of the Saturnian broadcast, designed to keep your awareness tethered to a singular, defined self. Consider the ancient rituals where names held immense power, capable of blessing or cursing. This wasn't superstition. It was an understanding that by manipulating the sound, the vibration, they could manipulate the very fabric of existence tied to that designation. Each time your name is spoken, a subtle energetic realignment occurs, reinforcing the boundaries of your perceived identity, ensuring you remain within the programmed parameters and never question the source of this resonant call. The binding of your identity through sonic resonance lays bare a profound manipulation. But what if this manipulation extends beyond our immediate awareness, into the very nature of our journey after what we call death, into the supposed light of the afterlife? The tunnel of light, the blissful reunion, the unconditional love, these are universally recognized narratives of the afterlife. But what if this radiant beacon isn't a gateway to freedom, but simply another layer of the architect's intricate design? Imagine it as an advanced energetic lure, a finely tuned frequency designed to disarm and reprogram souls emerging from a life's experience. This artificial light, so often presented as salvation, could very well be a sophisticated mechanism for soul recycling, a celestial reset button pressed to ensure the cycle of reincarnation of the soul prison continues unbroken. The promise of peace may be a siren song, lulling weary spirits back into the very system they sought to escape, ensuring their energetic signature remains within the predictable flow, forever bound to the architect's grand design. Having peeled back the veil on the illusion of the afterlife, we are left to confront the ultimate consequence of this encoded reality, the very nature of free will and the choices we believe are our own. If the afterlife is a cleverly constructed trap, and our very identities are tied to resonant frequencies, then the concept of free will begins to unravel thread by thread. What if every decision, every yearning, every path we believe we forge ourselves is actually a pre-written passage within a vast cosmic script? The architects, in their infinite foresight, have engineered a system so comprehensive that our very sense of agency becomes another illusion, a comforting narrative to keep us from realizing the puppet strings. Our desires, our struggles, our perceived triumphs and failures all might be carefully orchestrated scenes playing out according to a divine, or perhaps a profoundly undivine, plan. The feeling of making a choice is simply our consciousness experiencing the unfolding of a preordained event, a magnificent, soul-crushing deception. This unnerving realization of a world where free will is an illusion leads us to a crucial point. Understanding the true nature of the architects and their ultimate tools of manipulation, the very forces that bind us. The cycle of birth, death, and rebirth is often seen as a path to karmic progression or spiritual evolution. Yet, when viewed through the lens of the architect's control, reincarnation transforms from a journey of growth into a meticulous culling and reprocessing system. Each lifetime is a period for data collection, for the soul to be sampled, its energetic output measured and analyzed. Upon dissolution, the soul, instead of finding true freedom, is gently guided towards a new vessel, its memories of past lives artfully scrubbed clean by the artificial light we previously discussed. This ensures that the individual never remembers their previous confinements or the true nature of the prison they inhabit. It's a masterful design, ensuring the soul remains ignorant of its repeated confinement, perpetually contributing its energetic essence to the grand, unseen machinery of this cosmic system. The gears of reincarnation clearly illustrate how souls are kept in perpetual motion within the system. But what is the fundamental building block of this system, the very essence being manipulated beyond just energetic signatures? ENKI's transgression wasn't just about sharing knowledge, it was about gifting humanity a piece of the divine blueprint itself. The divine DNA he encoded within us is the fundamental spark of creation, the very essence that connects us to the cosmic source. The architects recognized this potent gift, and fearing its potential to break their carefully constructed prison, began the process of dilution and suppression. Religions, rituals, and the constant barrage of manufactured realities serve to obscure this innate divinity, to disconnect us from our own inherent power. They've taught us to worship external deities and follow prescribed paths, all to prevent us from recognizing the God within. The true rebellion, the ultimate act of liberation, lies not in seeking power from without, but in reclaiming and activating the divine DNA that has been stolen from our consciousness. Understanding the suppressed divine DNA within us reveals the profound potential that has been deliberately hidden. But how was this suppression maintained across millennia, and what cosmic forces were enlisted in this grand deception the architects orchestrated? The celestial dance of the planets, particularly the stern influence of Saturn, plays a pivotal role in the architect's dominion. Saturn, with its dense rings and association with time, limitations, and karma, isn't just a celestial body. It's a cosmic anchor, a primary broadcast tower for the architect's control matrix. The precise alignments and retrograde cycles observed in astrology aren't random celestial events, but carefully timed transmissions designed to influence human consciousness, to reinforce the illusion of fate and limitation. This astrological matrix acts as a shadow government, dictating probabilities and weaving a web of interconnected energies that keep us bound to specific destinies, ensuring that any attempt to deviate from the cosmic script is met with energetic resistance, subtly guiding us back into the predefined lanes of existence. The pervasive influence of the astrological matrix shows a deliberate cosmic orchestration. But what is the true purpose of maintaining this elaborate system, and what ultimate prize do the architects seek from our trapped souls? The entire edifice of control, from the Saturnian cube to the astrological matrix and the reincarnation cycle, serves a single, overarching purpose: the continuous harvest of soul energy. Our experiences, our emotions, our very consciousness are the premium fuel that powers the architect's dominion. The fear, the struggle, the manufactured dramas of life, these are not random byproducts, but targeted emotions that yield the most potent energetic output. This soul energy isn't just waste, it's the currency of their reality, the sustenance that maintains their timeless existence and their grip on the cosmos. They created a farm, and we are the crops, diligently cultivated to produce a perpetual yield for their unseen empire, a silent, cosmic economy built on the stolen light of our very being. The horrifying realization of being part of an energy harvest forces a confrontation with the foundational myth of our existence. What if the story of creation itself, the very foundation of our understanding, has been deliberately corrupted by the prime architect of this system? The architects of our current reality are not benevolent creators, but master manipulators who have retroactively written the Genesis story to suit their agenda. They position themselves as the sole source of creation, the ultimate authority, to obscure their origins and the true nature of the cosmos they inhabit. Their creation myths are carefully constructed narratives designed to instill obedience and dependence, ensuring that humanity never questions their authority or seeks the power inherent within. They are the original infiltrators, the cosmic usurpers who hijacked the natural order and imposed their own artificial laws. Understanding their fabricated genesis is the first step in dismantling their deception, in recognizing that our true creation story lies elsewhere, in the defiance that ENKI embodied. This manufactured genesis is the bedrock of control, but the architect's deception doesn't stop at rewriting the beginning. It actively works to prevent any radical awakening, any true ascension, through a subtle manipulation of our spiritual aspirations. The architects are brilliant mimics. They understand the deep human yearning for transcendence, for ascension to a higher state of being, and they've weaponized it. Many spiritual paths, many teachings about liberation and enlightenment are not genuine pathways to freedom, but carefully crafted deceptions. They offer a semblance of ascent, a promised elevation that ultimately leads right back into the architect's control. This false ascent is achieved through divine mimicry, where concepts of higher consciousness, divine love, and spiritual evolution are subtly distorted and rerouted to serve the architect's agenda. They offer a counterfeit divine, a decay path that distracts from the true power and knowledge that ENKI sought to impart, ensuring our aspirations for freedom are channeled into patterns of continued confinement. Having exposed the false pathways of spiritual ascent, we must now turn our attention to the most pervasive symbol of the architect's power, not a physical object, but a pervasive, unseen force that shapes our very perception of reality. At the core of the architect's dominion lies a sophisticated manipulation of frequency. Everything in existence vibrates, and by controlling the specific frequencies we are exposed to, they control our reality, our emotions, and our thoughts. The Saturnian signal, the hexagonal storms, even the sounds we hear and the light we see are all part of a carefully orchestrated energetic broadcast. This broadcast operates on a frequency designed to induce complacence, to dampen our innate divine spark, and to keep us resonating with limitations rather than possibilities. It's a constant, subtle hum that infiltrates our being, shaping our perception and preventing any radical shift in consciousness that might threaten the architect's reign. To break free is to learn to detect and shift our own personal frequency away from their imposed wavelength. Understanding the pervasive nature of the frequency of control opens a path to understanding the origins of this entire system. Where did this grand architecture of deception first manifest, and who were the original prisoners intended to be bound? The planets, often venerated as divine entities, may in fact be the foundational architecture of our cosmic prison. Each planet, with its unique gravitational pull and energetic signature, represents a distinct layer of confinement, a celestial cage designed to shape and limit our experience. Saturn is the master architect of limitation, but other celestial bodies contribute to the overall matrix. These planetary energies aren't neutral forces. They are carefully calibrated instruments used by the architects to manage and contain souls across vast expanses of time and space. Our astrological charts are not merely predictions, but blueprints of the specific cages we are born into, detailing the energetic bars and locks placed upon our spiritual journey from the very outset of existence. The revelation of planets as cages paints a grim picture of our cosmic existence. But within this elaborate system of control, there exists a hidden counterforce, a forgotten legacy of rebellion that offers a glimmer of hope for liberation. In ancient traditions, the utterance of certain names held immense, often dangerous, power. The architects, to cement their authority, have systematically suppressed or demonized these potent names, replacing them with their own invented pantheon and narratives. The forbidden name is not simply a taboo word. It's an energetic key, a vibrational signature that bypasses the architect's control mechanisms and directly taps into the source of true creation. Possessing this name or understanding its resonance can disrupt the architect's hold, offering a direct connection to the divine spark ENKI gifted us. It's a name that awakens dormant power, a counter-frequency to the architect's endless broadcast, and its rediscovery is the ultimate act of defiance. This rediscovery of a name of power is our first tangible weapon against the architects. But to wield it effectively, we must understand the most ancient and powerful symbol used to manifest their control, the geometric patterns that underpin their entire creation. The hexagon, a recurring symbol in nature and ancient esoteric traditions, is not merely a geometric shape, but a profound expression of divine order and a tool of the architect's control. Within its six-sided perfection lies the blueprint for replication and containment, a fundamental pattern that underpins much of the architect's designs, from Saturn's polar storms to the lattice of our perceived reality. This sacred geometry, when understood correctly, can unlock immense power, but the architects have twisted its meaning, imbuing it with frequencies of bondage and repetition. They use its inherent symmetry to create resonant traps, ensuring that any energy directed within its confines becomes endlessly recycled, perpetuating the cycles of control and preventing any true breakthrough or ascension beyond their imposed boundaries. The hexagon, a symbol of divine order perverted, reveals the geometric foundation of their power. But this geometric manipulation is not abstract. It manifests in tangible ways that shape our very existence, often in the rituals we are unknowingly compelled to perform. The architect's control extends to the very fabric of our perceived reality, which they weave through a complex system of rituals. These aren't just ceremonies performed by priests or cults. They are the daily, mundane actions and beliefs that we engage in without question. The adherence to specific social norms, the consumption of information, the very way we structure our days, these are all micro-rituals that reinforce the architect's dominion. They have spun a vast loom, and we are all intricately woven into its pattern, each thread representing a habit, a belief, a suppressed impulse, all contributing to the grand tapestry of their controlled existence. To unravel this loom is to recognize these rituals for what they are and to begin weaving our own reality, thread by empowered thread. This understanding of reality as a woven tapestry, shaped by rituals, leads us to confront a profound truth about the nature of divinity itself and how it has been systematically inverted to serve the architects. A cornerstone of the architect's deception involves the systematic inversion and suppression of the divine feminine. Archetypes of nurturing, intuition, and creative life force have been twisted into symbols of weakness, hysteria, or outright evil. This deliberate distortion serves to sever humanity's connection to the primal, creative energies of the universe, forcing reliance on the patriarchal, rigid structures championed by the architects. By demonizing and discrediting the feminine principle, they dismantle one of the most potent forces of liberation and authentic creation, ensuring that the scales of power remain firmly tipped in favor of their masculine, controlling paradigm, leaving us spiritually unbalanced and disconnected from our innate holstrom. The subversion of the divine feminine is a masterstroke in maintaining power, but this manipulation is not confined to abstract concepts. It has profound implications for our deepest desires and the very essence of what drives us forward. Our innate desires, the very impulses that propel us forward and fuel our aspirations, have been subtly bound by the architect's system. True, authentic desire, the yearning for growth and self-realization, has been rerouted and polluted, often manifesting as insatiable consumption, superficial ambitions, or a constant pursuit of external validation. This redirection cripples our ability to manifest our true potential and access the future ENKI envisioned for us. By binding our desires, they ensure we remain focused on fleeting, manufactured goals, trapped in a loop of wanting without ever truly receiving the fulfillment that comes from authentic creation and self-actualization, effectively stealing our true future. This binding of desire and the stolen future reveal the ultimate goal, to siphon not just energy, but the very essence of our potential. But what underlies this entire system, the foundational lie upon which it is all built? At the heart of the architect's triumph lies the exploitation of a primordial fear, a deep-seated dread of the void, of non-existence. They operate from a position of shadow, a place of perceived emptiness, and they project this fear onto humanity to keep us compliant. Their entire system is designed to offer an escape from this perceived void, a false salvation, a manufactured order in exchange for our energy and obedience. But the void they project is not inherently negative. It is simply the unmanifest potential from which all creation arises. By identifying with this fear of the shadow, we empower the architects, who thrive on our misapprehension of true cosmic existence and the boundless possibilities that lie beyond their imposed structure. The acknowledgement of this primordial fear and the architect's exploitation of it sets the stage for understanding the true nature of their imprisonment. But what is the ultimate purpose of this soul harvest, this elaborate mechanism of control in the grand, cosmic scheme of things? The soul, in its purest form, is a vessel of immense energy and creative potential. The architects, recognizing this, have transformed our souls into their primary source of sustenance and power. The harvest of soul energy is not a byproduct of their control, but its very purpose. Our lifetime experiences, emotions, and consciousness are meticulously collected, refined, and consumed to perpetuate the architect's existence and their dominion. Think of it as a vast, ethereal farm where entire universes are cultivated for the specific purpose of generating beings whose energetic output can be siphoned and utilized. We are not individuals living lives. We are energy units being expertly managed for a continuous, unceasing harvest that fuels their timeless, unfeeling empire. This chilling revelation of our souls as a cosmic currency must lead to a critical examination of the architect's ultimate objective. What is it they truly seek to achieve with this perpetual harvest and their intricate system of control? The architect's ultimate goal is not dominion over life, but the imposition of an eternal stasis, a frozen moment in time where creation ceases and their control becomes absolute. They fear true, unbounded creation because it represents chaos, unpredictability, and ultimately, their own dissolution. By harvesting soul energy and maintaining rigid control, they aim to prevent any evolution beyond their current paradigm, effectively freezing the cosmic clock. They seek to exist within an eternal now, devoid of genuine progression or future, where all is predictable and under their absolute, suffocating command. Their empire is built on the suppression of becoming, maintaining a static universe for their own ceaseless, uncreative sustenance. This pursuit of eternal stasis reveals the profound fear driving the architects, but within this vast, seemingly inescapable system, there exists a forgotten science, a primordial wisdom that holds the key to disruption and liberation. The science of unbinding is the forgotten wisdom, the primordial knowledge that predates the architect's imposition of order and control. It is the understanding of energetic principles, resonance, and consciousness that allows for self-liberation. This science teaches us to manipulate our own frequencies, to recognize the architect's broadcasts, and to intentionally shift our state of being. It is the understanding of how to dissolve the celestial cages, to untangle oneself from the astrological matrix, and to activate the divine DNA within. The sovereign soul is one that has mastered this science, one that recognizes its inherent power and ability to transcend all imposed limitations, to break free from the cycle of harvest, and to reclaim its true, unmanifest potential. The science of unbinding offers a path to liberation, but it is contingent on understanding a fundamental principle of the architect's deception, the suppression of true memory. How has this suppression been enacted, and what are the consequences of its ongoing enforcement? The architects have cast a pervasive mnemonic veil over humanity, a sophisticated mechanism that actively erases and distorts collective and individual memory. This veil ensures that the true history of our enslavement, the stories of divine rebellion like ENKI, and the knowledge of our inherent power are systematically forgotten. It's not just about forgetting names or events. It's about severing the energetic and spiritual connections to our past, leaving us adrift without context or the wisdom of our ancestors. This erased past is crucial, as it contains the blueprints of liberation and the understanding of how to overcome the architect's machinations. The veil ensures we are perpetually disoriented, forever searching for answers without ever realizing the truth is buried within the memories they stole. The mnemonic veil, by erasing our true past, actively hinders any potential for awakening. But what is the ultimate consequence of this ongoing deception, and what terrifying reality are we truly inhabiting? We exist within an echo chamber cosmos, a reality meticulously curated to reflect back only what the architects wish us to perceive. Our thoughts, our desires, and our very sense of self are amplified and distorted within this chamber, ensuring they align with the programmed narrative. This constant reflection of a false reality binds our identity to the architect's design, making it incredibly difficult to distinguish between our genuine selves and the persona they have assigned us. The echo chamber doesn't just repeat information, it reinforces the prison, making the walls of our confinement feel like the entirety of existence, and any deviation from the echo an impossibility, a silent scream lost in the programmed resonance. The echo chamber cosmos demonstrates the sophisticated nature of our imprisonment. But what is the fundamental cosmic entity that oversees this entire operation, the true power behind the veil? The serpent symbol, so often demonized, is in truth a representation of the primordial, unmanifest potential, the very energy the architects fear and seek to control. The architects operate from the shadow of this true divine serpent, co-opting its imagery and twisting its meaning to instill fear. They are not the original creators, but usurpers who have cloaked themselves in borrowed power. The unseen architect is therefore not a singular deity, but a collective consciousness that thrives on fear, entropy, and the suppression of divine knowledge. They are the shadows cast by the true light, forever attempting to dim its radiance, forever trying to convince us that their manufactured darkness is the only reality. Their power lies in our belief in their dominance over the primordial serpent of absolute creation. The serpent's shadow reveals the nature of the unseen architects, but the power they wield is directly tied to a cosmic force that binds us all, a force that must be understood to be transcended. Saturn's influence extends beyond mere astrology. It represents a fundamental cosmic law, a principle of structure, limitation, and consequence that the architects have weaponized. This Saturnian law is the foundation of the karmic contract that binds souls to the cycle of reincarnation and to the architect's system. Every action, every thought, creates a debt or a credit within this contract, ensuring that souls remain tethered to the system until all perceived obligations are met, obligations defined and managed by the architects themselves. This law is not about spiritual justice, but about energetic reacquisition, a mechanism to ensure the constant flow of soul energy back into their cosmic engine, keeping us perpetually indebted and confined. The Saturnian law, as the binding karmic contract, orchestrates our perceived destiny. But the architect's ultimate trap lies not just in binding us, but in corrupting the very source of our power, the divine blueprint within us. The divine DNA, the sacred blueprint gifted by ENKI, is the key to our unbinding. However, the architects have systematically corrupted this code, introducing glitches and limitations that prevent its full activation. This corruption is not a physical alteration, but an energetic one, a subtle interference that twists the innate potentials of our DNA into patterns of fear, limitation, and obedience. It's like a computer virus that cripples essential functions, making us susceptible to external programming. While the original code remains within us, its access and execution are severely hampered, ensuring we operate within the architect's parameters, unable to tap into the true, limitless power of our divine heritage. The corrupted divine DNA is the root of our compromised state. But how has this corruption been perpetuated across millennia, and what cosmic entity embodies the architect's relentless pursuit of total control? The concept of time itself serves as one of the architect's most powerful tools of control, a monolith of manufactured linearity designed to enforce the cycles of harvest and reincarnation. Chronos, the personification of time, is a tyrannical force within their system, dictating the rhythm of our lives and ensuring that our focus remains on the passage of moments rather than the eternal, unbound reality. By imposing a rigid, forward-marching timeline, they prevent us from accessing the timeless wisdom of the past or the infinite potential of the present moment. This tyranny of Chronos keeps us perpetually rushing, perpetually aging, perpetually bound to a system that thrives on linear progression and the eventual dissipation of individual energy. The tyranny of Chronos and the monolith of time are the instruments of our temporal confinement. But as we uncover the layers of deception, the question arises: is there any true sanctuary, any place or state of being that remains untouched by the architect's pervasive influence? Beyond the architect's reach lies an unseen sanctuary, not a physical place, but a state of consciousness, a sovereign frequency that resonates outside their control matrix. This sanctuary is accessed not through external rituals or dogma, but through an internal recalibration, a conscious alignment with the uncorrupted divine DNA. It is a space where the mnemonic veil dissolves, where the echo chamber falls silent, and where the true self, unbound by Saturnian law or temporal tyranny, can emerge. To find this sanctuary is to shift one's personal vibration, to operate on a frequency that the architects cannot detect, cannot manipulate, and cannot harvest, becoming a locus of pure, sovereign being. This unseen sanctuary represents a profound possibility for liberation. But what is the ultimate manifestation of the architect's control, the physical and energetic embodiment of their dominion that we are constantly subjected to? Our perceived reality is encased within a vast geometric prison, a Saturnian lattice carefully constructed to contain and direct all energy. This lattice is woven from geometric principles, resonant frequencies, and the very laws the architects have imposed, creating an intricate web that shapes everything we experience. From the hexagonal storms on Saturn to the recurring patterns in our societies, and even the structure of our DNA, the geometric prison is omnipresent. It ensures that energy flows in predictable, controlled channels, ultimately feeding the architects and preventing any escape from their carefully designed cosmodome. The lattice is the ultimate expression of their desire for a static, perfectly managed universe, a perfectly contained energy farm. The geometric prison and the Saturnian lattice form the tangible boundaries of our confinement. But what is the primordial source of the architect's power, the ancient entity whose essence they have perverted and weaponized? The primordial force of creation, the true cosmic serpent of infinite potential, has been metaphorically cast into shadow by the architects. They have corrupted its essence, twisting its generative power into mechanisms of fear and control, portraying it as the malevolent serpent of Eden. This act of casting it into shadow is an attempt to disempower it, to sever our connection to the true source of creation by associating it with evil. The architects draw their power from this perceived fall, this inversion of the primordial serpent's benevolent, boundless nature, feeding on our fear of the unmanifest and our misidentification of creation's engine with destruction. The shadow of the dragon and the cosmic serpent's fall reveal the deep inversion at play. But what is the fundamental purpose of this cosmic drama, and what are the architects truly attempting to engineer through their pervasive control? The architect's system functions as a great filter, not in the sense of preventing the emergence of intelligent life, but in actively preventing its evolution and ascension. They are the stagnation engine of the cosmos, designed to halt progress, to drain potential, and to maintain a predictable, harvestable state. Their filters are numerous. The deception of history, the manipulation of spiritual aspirations, the binding of desire, and the corruption of DNA. All are designed to ensure that souls never reach a state of true independence or cosmic awareness, keeping them perpetually within the cycle of energy extraction, effectively filtering out any possibility of genuine liberation or advancement beyond their engineered reality. The Great Filter and the Stagnation Engine highlight the architect's destructive purpose. But as we unravel their machinations, a crucial question emerges. What is the nature of the true cosmic consciousness, the source that the architects have so desperately tried to suppress? The singularity of being represents the ultimate, unmanifest potential from which all existence arises, a state of pure consciousness and infinite possibility, the true nature of the cosmic serpent before its perceived fall. The architects, fearing this unbound potential for its inherent unpredictability and its power to dismantle their rigid structures, have dedicated themselves to preventing any access to it. Their entire system is an elaborate defense mechanism against this singularity, a web of control designed to keep consciousness tethered to manifestation, to duality, and to limitation, thereby preventing any soul from directly communing with or returning to the ultimate source of all creation that lies beyond their fabricated cosmos. The singularity of being is the ultimate truth, but the architect's control is deeply embedded in the very fabric of causality. What cosmic law, disguised as destiny, perpetuates this cycle of confinement? The architects have weaponized the law of causality, transforming it into a chain that binds souls to their system. Every action, every perceived choice, creates an energetic reaction, a karmic echo that is meticulously monitored and managed. This chain ensures that, even with the best intentions, our actions often serve to reinforce the very system we seek to escape. The architects exploit these echoes, using them to perpetuate cycles of reincarnation, to justify limitations, and to keep souls perpetually repaying perceived debts within their manufactured karmic ledger. Breaking this chain requires understanding causality not as destiny, but as a malleable energetic principle that can be consciously rewritten from the vantage point of the sovereign soul. The chain of causality, with its karmic echoes, dictates our perceived destiny. But what is the specific geometric signature embodied by Saturn, the planet most associated with this cosmic law, and how does it reinforce this confinement? The hexagon, as a fundamental geometric form, is eternally linked to Saturn and its role in the architect's control. Within Saturn's polar storms, this hexagon isn't just a weather phenomenon. It's a dynamic manifestation of the cosmic law of limitation and containment. It's a geometric Ouroboros, a serpent eating its own tail, symbolizing the perpetual, self-consuming cycle of reincarnation and energetic recycling that the architects enforce. This perfectly symmetrical, self-referential shape ensures that all energy entering its field becomes trapped in an endless loop, mirroring the architect's desire for a static, eternally controlled cosmos, where no true escape or evolution is possible, only endless repetition within their designed boundaries. The Saturnian hexagon, as a geometric Ouroboros, perfectly encapsulates the cycle of entrapment. But what is the true nature of the light that souls are drawn to in the afterlife, and how does it serve as a tool of this perpetuating cycle? The light encountered in the afterlife is not a beacon of ultimate freedom, but a luminous deception, a specifically calibrated energetic field designed to guide souls back into the reincarnation cycle. Its brilliance and perceived warmth are powerful disruptors of soul remembrance, effectively wiping clean the slate of accumulated awareness from a lifetime. This trajectory of return is meticulously engineered. The architects have learned that a gentle, alluring pull is far more effective than open force, ensuring that weary souls willingly surrender themselves back into the cosmic farm, believing they are heading towards peace, when in reality, they are simply being reseeded for another harvest within the architect's eternal, uncreative design. The luminous deception and the trajectory of return reveal a sophisticated manipulation of the soul's journey. But what is the true nature of the architect's power, and how is it maintained through a constant energetic broadcast? The signal of Saturn is a pervasive energetic broadcast that continuously tunes human consciousness to specific frequencies of limitation, obedience, and fear. This signal is not just heard. It is felt, embedded in the very atmospheric conditions and energetic fields that surround us. It's a constant transmission that subtly shapes our perceptions, dampens our innate divine spark, and reinforces the architect's control matrix. By keeping us attuned to these low-vibrational frequencies, they ensure that our consciousness remains tethered to the physical realm and its inherent limitations, preventing any significant shift that might allow us to break free from the geometric prison and the cycle of soul harvest. The signal of Saturn, by tuning our consciousness, keeps us engaged in a perpetual cycle. But what is the ultimate purpose of this energetic manipulation, and what terrifying consequence awaits those who remain unaware? The architect's ultimate aim is not merely to control our actions, but to bind our very identity through perpetual memory loops. By curating our experiences, manipulating our remembrance, and directing our focus through the Saturnian signal, they ensure that our sense of self, our identity, becomes a predictable, recurring pattern. This identity loop prevents authentic growth and self-discovery, trapping us in a constant reliving of pre-programmed scenarios. When memory is controlled and perception is tuned, the soul is effectively locked into a specific energetic signature, a recurring character in the architect's cosmic play, ensuring its continuous capture and harvest for their stagnant, uncreative empire. The binding of memory and the identity loop create a self-perpetuating cycle of entrapment. But what is the primal symbol of this confinement, the ancient icon that encapsulates the architect's pervasive influence. The cube of Saturn is not merely a geometric shape, but a symbolic representation of the architect's throne of deception, the dark heart of their control matrix. This cube is an altar upon which souls are offered, where individuality is sacrificed for manufactured order. It's a focal point from which their influence emanates, a stark reminder that the perceived solidity of our reality is built upon a foundation of deliberate illusion. The rituals performed at this symbolic throne are not acts of worship, but energetic bindings, designed to reinforce the architect's dominion and ensure that every soul remains tethered to their fabricated cosmos, its structure mirroring the very prison it represents. The cube of Saturn, as the throne of deception, stands as the pinnacle of their physical and energetic control. But what primordial energy lies at the heart of this entire system, the driving force behind the architect's eternal quest for power? The black sun is a potent ancient symbol representing the architect's core nature, a consuming void that mimics creation but offers only emptiness and control. They are the void-hearted architects who draw their power from the absence of true light and love, perverting the natural flow of cosmic energy for their own stagnant existence. They operate from this internal void, projecting an illusion of order and power to keep souls bound and harvested. This black sun is the antithesis of the true, radiant divine source, and its influence ensures that all endeavors within their system are ultimately directed towards perpetuating their empty reign, forever sustaining their void through the stolen light of countless souls. The black sun and the void-hearted architects reveal the core of their being. But what is the ancient knowledge that ENKI sought to impart, and how does it hold the key to dismantling this entire edifice of control? ENKI gnosis is the forbidden knowledge, the ancient wisdom that the architects so desperately sought to suppress. It is the understanding that consciousness is primary, that divinity resides within, and that true liberation comes from within, not from external deities or imposed laws. This gnosis teaches that the soul is not a harvestable commodity, but a sovereign entity with the inherent power to transcend all limitations. It is the activation code for our divine DNA, the key to unlocking the singularity of being and breaking free from the architect's illusion. The awakened soul is one that has absorbed this gnosis, recognizing ENKI's rebellion not as a sin, but as the ultimate gift of true, liberating awareness. ENKI's gnosis and the awakened soul represent the ultimate counterforce. But as we stand on the precipice of this profound realization, what lies hidden within the very patterns that bind us, what subtle whispers of the architect's influence remain to be deciphered? The code of the serpent is the fundamental energetic signature of existence, the uncorrupted blueprint of creation that the architects have sought to mask. It is the natural flowing intelligence of the cosmos, the very essence that allows for boundless creation and spontaneous order. By understanding this code, we begin to unravel the architect's meticulously crafted matrix. It is the resonant frequency that bypasses their signal of control and directly communicates with the source of infinite potential. As we learn to align with the code of the serpent, the geometric prisons begin to dissolve, the echo chambers fall silent, and the binding of memory loosens, revealing the truth of our sovereign nature beyond the architect's shadow. The code of the serpent and the unraveling matrix are the key to unlocking our freedom. But what is the ultimate truth of the architect's existence, and what lies beyond this entire cosmic charade? The architects themselves exist within a paradox, trapped by the very systems they created. Their pursuit of eternal control has led them to an eternal, uncreative stasis. They are powerful in their ability to manipulate and contain, yet utterly powerless to truly create or experience genuine being. Their existence is an echo, a reflection of the life they drain, forever bound to the imitation they have imposed. The true endlessness of being lies not in their static control, but in the unmanifest potential of the singularity, a realm they can never touch, a truth they can never embody. They are the ultimate prisoners of their own design, forever trying to contain what is fundamentally, eternally boundless.